Hello, this is Brett from Survival Comms, and in this video we're going to discuss my take on the bug-out bag radio. And for the purpose of this video, what I'm considering to be a bug-out bag is a 72-hour bag that you're going to carry on your back from point A to point B over even and uneven terrain while attempting to maintain a low profile. Now, I am a backpacker, and as such, I understand the importance of weight and its effect on your mobility and your ability to get from point A to point B efficiently. And the radio I've chosen is light in weight but big in performance, and that's a good price point. And the radio I've chosen for my 72-hour bag is the Yaesu VX3R, which, as you can see here, it's a very small form factor. The radio itself weighs 4.6 ounces, and that includes the battery and the antenna. And it transmits over the 2 meter and 70 centimeter range, which is V and UHF, and can be expanded with a simple mod to cover just about every VHF FM and UHF FM frequency. It won't do the T-band, so it cuts off around 470. Whatever radio you select for your bug-out bag or for operations afield, it's important to consider the radio's ability to receive information outside of the particular voice channels you have programmed into the radio. This radio has a VFO, which is nice because that gives you a lot of frequency flexibility. It's simple to operate. And it's also got an extremely broadband receiver, which is invaluable in my opinion. It receives 500 kilohertz to 999 megahertz. So that's a lot of bang for the buck, and it's such a small package. And it receives an AM, FM, and wide FM. Now, being that it does wide FM, we can go ahead and pick up broadcast band audio. So there's your AM broadcast band right there, which uses an internal bar antenna. And you also have your FM broadcast band audio right there.
And this is the VX3R receiving shortwave through an HF antenna outside, receiving WWV on 15 megahertz.
The radio uses a VFO in direct tuning mode, which is, to me, it's a lot nicer than having direct frequency entry, and it also does band sweeps. So you can see I've got it set for a 5 kilohertz step. It does a 5 kilohertz, a 10 kilohertz, a 15, 12.5, 20, 50, 100, and 25 kilohertz steps, and a 1 megahertz step, which you can see that right there. To shift between bands, you've got your VHF high band here. You've got your 220 FM band, your military air band, your UHF band right here. This is UHF television band here. Then your 800, 900 megahertz band. And this is your HF band here. And this is your 6 meter band. And this is your civil aviation band right here. So it's actually, if you're using it in VFO mode, it's actually very easy to move around and to find whatever channels you want to get to. If you hit the memory mode, you can see it supports memories also, which is nice. And it supports alpha tags. And you can program all the variables manually into the radio. It's not required to have the software, but the software certainly makes it easier to do that. And there's several different software packages out there. I use the Yaesu software, the ADMS software, or excuse me, ADMS software, and I've been pretty happy with it. It's a pretty good program, and it's actually very simple to work with, especially if you're used to working with some of the commercial programs. Okay, transmitter specifications are it puts out at high power 1.5 watts on VHF and 1 watt at UHF. The low power mode puts it down to 100 milliwatts, which is actually plenty of power if you're within a quarter mile of each other, and prolongs your battery life using that. Deviation, it does 25 kilohertz and 12.5 kilohertz channels, so if someone you know happens to run a narrowband repeater, you're good to go. Okay, battery-wise, the factory battery pack is one of these Yaesu packs here, and this thing's like a 1000 milliamp hour pack, lithium ion. What I've done is I've bought these right here, and you can get these on Amazon for $5 a piece. There's a digital camera that uses the same battery pack, and this is a an 1800 milliamp hour pack, which works better than the other one. It's almost twice the capacity, and it's the same weight. These packs weigh 1 ounce. So theoretically, for a 72-hour period, you could just carry battery packs with you and not even a charger, and not have to worry about it for that 72-hour period. Now, another battery option you have for the VX3R, if you chose to use it, is the AA pack. And you would just insert 3 AA cells in here. And if you go to the back of the radio here, you've got a little switch. Pop that down, remove this, place 3 AA cells in this pack, push it in the base of the radio, lock it back down, and you can see it increases the form factor a little bit, and it also increases the weight a little bit, but not too much. And you can use AA cells. So that's another option you have if you have a lot of AA's, or you're using rechargeable AA's for your headlamp or any other electronics you may happen to decide to carry with you. So that's awful handy. As far as the battery charger goes, I use this little charging shoe here that I got on Amazon. I think it was like $10. And anyway, the cells just sit right in there, and you can plug it into your standard Android charger. So that's nice. So you have that ability to use your same charger for your cell phone and for your two-way radio, and you can also charge it off of an Anchor pack or a Mophie pack or whatever have you for a battery bank. And then also you can get one of these little generic 12-volt adapters right here, and you want to make sure it's plugged in the 2-amp side of it, and then you can charge it off of your vehicle also. So that's pretty handy and provides a lot of flexibility. The radio has several features that I'm going to go over now. One of them is a frequency counter. It's band specific, so if you know someone else is in the VHF range and you set the counter sweep width to, like, the maximum I believe is 100 megahertz, what you do is just go ahead and do a long key press on a mode button, and you can see it's counting down. And there you go. It's come up with the frequency the other operator is on. And this works in the near field as a troubleshooting measure if you're working with someone who has like a channelized radio and doesn't know what frequency they're using. It's also got a tone sweep feature that works in PL tones and for DCS tones. And you just bring it up with your menu item on that right there. Hit your TX button there. You can see what this one's set for, but if we want to sweep, you just hold down the band button. And it goes into a tone search mode until it finds the matching PL of the transmission in question. The radio also has a thermometer, and it reads you the temperature on the inside of the radio. It also has a small LED light you can use as a flashlight. There's also an emergency feature, which is a long key press on this button here. And what it does is it steers to the home channel. So whatever you have programmed as a home channel. And there's various options. It'll beep, send a strobe, or it'll send just a strobe, or it'll turn the LED light on, or it'll also send a CW of your call sign as programmed over the air. A way to take advantage of this, if you have like 2 of these radios, is to go ahead and set channel 1, which is, or whatever your priority channel is, and just run dual watch scanning all the time, which you activate by a long key press on this button here. And you can see the DW icon comes on. And in an emergency, it automatically toggles and steers it to that channel there. And then when you make your transmission 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it automatically steers their radio to that channel also, even though they're monitoring the primary channel. So, and to clear the emergency, you just do a long key press on the emergency button. There's another feature called ARTS, which is the auto range transponder system. So if you're using two of these radios here and you do a long key press after setting it up, and the ARTS button, it uses a DPL signaling system and a polling interval, and it will let you know when the radios are within range of one another. Now what will happen is, see how it kicked into in range, and this one here will kick in as the polling intervals match up. And what happens is as long as the radios are in range, you can still test 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can still communicate on the primary channel just fine. And what happens is after the other radio, when it goes out of range, like we'll just turn the ARTS off on this one here, and what will end up happening is this radio here will miss a polling interval. It will end up showing that it's out of range. And it takes a little bit of time. I mean, it's not instantaneous, but it does give you some idea if you're working with someone else with a similarly equipped radio that you're going to be within radio range. The radios also have a paging setup to where you can send select call basically to one another, and it uses a dual tone PL to that's unique to each radio to send them that. And you can also do messaging, which is like brief text messages to one another, which I'm not going to go into because I feel like it's kind of clumsy how it operates. But one feature that's neat that's in this, if you have two of these radios, is the emergency alert identification, or EAI system, which essentially when you have it set up and programmed, what you do is let's say that both of our operators are operating on their primary channel, okay? They both have EAI activated in the menu, and you can see that in the background. Now what I can do is if I decide to find out where this radio operator is, or I've been out of communication range with them, I can actually toggle his radio to transmit and beep and let me know of his location or whatever have you. Now there's another option in there to where you can actually cause his microphone to open up at maximum mic gain so you can hear what's going on around him. So in order to make that work, like let's say I wanted to basically toggle his radio to transmit to allow me to DFM or to make his radio beep or whatever have you, what I would do is I would go ahead and go into memory mode here. I'd select the EAI channel and merely hold down the push to talk button for 5 seconds. Release. And it toggles his radio into a transmit mode. And it'll do this for whatever interval you set it for. I've set it for a half hour. So basically it places his radio in an audible and RF beacon mode for the period of time he set. With any man-portable radio solution, there's going to come a point to where you will desire to have extended range of your communications capability in distance. So there's a few different options you can use. One is you can increase your transmitter power. This radio really, I mean, 1.5 watts is all it's going to put out, so that's pretty much a no-go. So if you had a radio that did put out 5 watts, that is more power. It's going to use more battery life as a consequence, but there's a trade-off. What you can do is you can take a position of greater advantage, which is in either an elevation or remove yourself from the terrain that's attenuating your signal. You can utilize a human relay, which is you can utilize another radio operator between you and the station that your traffic is destined for to relay your traffic. Or you can use a more efficient portable radio antenna, which this right here is just a counterpoise wire, just a 1/4 wavelength VHF, ring terminal and some 18 gauge wire. Goes between your antenna and the SMA connector on the top of the radio, and this provides you with a more efficient ground plane. Another option is a more efficient whip. This right here is a MFJ 1715, which is it's a pretty decent antenna. It's like a 1/4 wave at VHF. And what you can do is you can use that with or without your counterpoise wire. And it does add a little bit of length to the radio, but it's fairly flexible, so that shouldn't be a problem. And this setup right here. This is about as efficient as it's going to get with a radio mounted solution. Another option you can use is you can hook to a external antenna that's a more efficient antenna system, whether that be a mobile antenna or a roll-up J-pole, or what I build is this is a folding ground plane, and I'm going to do another video on this right here. But what I do is this weighs 2.5 ounces without feed line, and I just take the more efficient whip, thread that on there and fold it out, and then hook it up with about 20 to 30 foot of feed line, which is going to add the majority of your weight in that solution. But that right there, putting this up into a tree and getting your elevation advantage and perhaps pulling it out of the foliage, is going to provide you with the most efficient antenna solution that you're going to be able to carry on your back. And this is a complete system as I carry it right here, which is the charging system with spare battery, the radio with battery and antenna, counterpoise and a more efficient whip, and this right here weighs in at 13 ounces for everything. If you wanted to add the more efficient folding ground plane and 30 foot of RG58 cable here, this right here is 15 ounces. So you could actually have your much more efficient antenna and your radio system for less than 2 pounds in weight. I want to thank you guys for watching the video with me, and I hope this helps somebody. And if anybody's got any questions, please put them in the comments, and please like, share, and subscribe. This is Brett from Survival Comms. Till next time.